Ben Shapiro responded to US women's soccer star Megan Rapinoe by basically having a meltdown and temper tantrum about her and the call for equal pay on his show. So let's take a look at what his argument is.
Capitalism can actually raise your pay. So what you're saying is that the reason you're not getting equal pay right now is because you're not making equal money for your league. And the best way for you to raise your pay would be for people to come and purchase tickets and memorabilia from your team, which suggests that this isn't about sexism at all. This is about you just complaining about sexism for publicity.
Yeah. So he famously said that facts don't care about your feelings. Right. But in that little rant, of course, he didn't delve into the facts. He didn't even care to research the facts. Maybe he did, and he's intentionally being misleading about what the reality is in terms of revenue for this soccer team. And I'm gonna give you those details again for the second time this week, because the facts are out there. The notion that the team doesn't bring enough revenue in order to get paid equally to the men's soccer team is a lie. It is not based in fact. The women's team contributed close or more than half of the USSF's revenue from games since fiscal year 2016. Overall, from fiscal 2016 to 2018, the women's games generated about $900,000 more revenue than the men's games. In the year following the 2015 World Cup win, women's games generated $1.9 million more than the men's games. So I don't know, Ben. It appears that the facts don't care about your feelings, and the evidence indicates that the women's teams are actually bringing in more revenue than men's teams. So what are you going to do about that?
Is that his real voice? Is he not ashamed to go on television with that particular voice? I have this question that I want to ask, and people are going to kill me for this, but I know that. But no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a big boy. I can tell. Listen, when black people do things and they see another black person doing something embarrassing, we feel it. With secondhand black embarrassment is what it's called. And whatever group you're in, if it's a marginalized group, you feel this. And I want him to understand that there are other people who should feel that. If you're a white person and you hear his voice and he's saying these idiotic things, you should feel embarrassed. That doesn't show well. You should have like oh gosh, Ben's doing it again. We've got to put out a statement, or because it's terrible and wrong. It's not just the money that they're bringing in. The idea that Rapinoe's getting extra money because she's an outspoken lesbian is ridiculous.
It is. Yes.
That's just absurd.
The top 10 most marketable women, according to Forbes last year, none of them on the list, to my knowledge, are lesbian. All of them are moderately outspoken, but none outspoken politically. So that idea is ridiculous. But the biggest thing is, if we're gonna tie how much money they make to whether or not they should get paid, then in most countries, no one should get paid. You should only get paid if you win. You should only get paid if you're good at your job, because if you should only get paid if you're good at your job, Ben Shapiro should be broke, and I'd be a gazillionaire, because I am very funny and way smarter than you, Ben. And I know you went to Harvard, but that doesn't mean anything, because George Bush went to Yale, and we know that guy's not, So I'm sorry, his voice makes my innards sad.
Well, he's intentionally misleading, and it amazes me, like, the right wing is just better at marketing than people on the left, because he has been sold to the American public as this whiz kid, as this guy who's only making arguments based on statistics, based in facts, based on the evidence. He is not someone who is driven by emotion or feelings. But that is exactly what he demonstrated in that clip we just showed you. In fact, there's more of it in the next clip, but Brooke, I wanted to give you a chance to chime in before.
No, I hate talking about him. I feel like every time I want to fight back against the system that has allowed him to exist publicly.
Yeah.
I do, I hate talking about him. And you all know Dan, we get into back and forth all the time. I just think I hate talking about him. I hate it. I want to pretend that he doesn't exist, that he doesn't have so much of a following, because he never makes any sense. He never says anything that's true. He says things that are racist. He says things that are sexist. He's gay, right? And says things.
No, that's Milo. Yeah, this one.
But he says things that are a little homophobic.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he told Dave Rubin, who is gay and on the right.
That's right, that he would not go to his wedding, right?
He wouldn't go to his wedding.
That's right, I got that mixed up.
And wouldn't bake him a wedding cake.
Well, I don't think Ben Shapiro makes good wedding cakes. Like, is that a thing that are we out here going, hey man, you know what I really want? them Ben Shapiro muffins. That's not a thing.
No,
Don't threaten me to do that.
So the context of that discussion, though, just to like give you a sense of how hilarious
ridiculous he is.
Yeah. So Dave Rubin, in that interview with Ben Shapiro, was trying to make a point about how we might have disagreements with one another, but we are friendly to one another, civil to one another. And so he asked Ben Shapiro about whether or not he would bake a cake for his wedding or go to his wedding in an effort to show the audience, like, look, we might have disagreements, but we're so civil with one another. And Ben's like, no, I don't think I would. I don't think I would bake a cake or go to your wedding.
That's what you get. That's what everyone who is any bit of a member of a marginalized community that ties themselves to this political narrative, at some point in life, they get shown, no, really, you really don't belong. Like, where has Candace Owens gone? She's been fired how many times? Like, exactly.
I don't know who that.
And
who are these people?
It's somebody we're trying to trade for Megan Rapinoe.
So I do want to go to the last clip.
Unfamiliar.
Featuring Ben Shapiro talking about how somehow Rapinoe is actually very privileged.
Yeah. We all have to pretend that this is all normal and that it's not divisive at all and that truly she's a hero to everyone. Absolute silliness. Absolute silliness, and bad for the country, by the way. When even the stuff that we take a break with, sporting, is turned into this, it's pretty obnoxious. And we're not talking about 1968 in the middle of the civil rights movement with US sprinters on the US national team at the Olympics raising the black power fist because American politics are polarized around race in 68. We're not talking about that. We're talking about gay marriage is legal across the United States by Supreme Court diktat. We are talking about Megan Rapinoe is getting $1 million contracts specifically because of her sexuality and because she is a very, very good soccer player. But let's not make any mistake. If she were a very good soccer player and she were not a very outspoken lesbian, she would be getting fewer contracts because she is seen as a political figure. And she's sort of Colin Kaepernick, but with actual talent at her sport. So it's all of this is obnoxious, but we're supposed to pretend that actually she's quite charming and wonderful. That it is not obnoxious to live in the best time for women, in the best time for lesbians, in the best time for women's soccer in the history of the world.
Are we supposed to pretend like you're charming and wonderful? Because you're.
And that you know anything about sports at all? Like, people love to hit on Kaepernick and say that he's not talented, as if being in the NFL. And he played longer than one season, but even if one season, that is a feat that is unachievable physically for most people in the world. I always say, because everyone sits at home and loves to talk about it, like imagine the worst NFL team out there, the worst team. The best college team would get their behinds eaten a lot, like just smashed. And none of us are even as good as the best college team. You cannot talk about, right, exactly.
For at least a few
it's
seasons,
just absurd. He gets to just lie. And that is such a narrative. That's something that happens a lot. Like, they like to say that you find somebody who's great, and Serena Williams is the best athlete in the world. Barack Obama became president. He is one of the most prolific speakers. He's one of the smartest human beings ever. And it's like, oh, well, see, racism isn't a thing because this man was president. This woman is a star athlete. There's no racism. It's ridiculous. Like, so there's no homophobia in America. This woman is only getting attention. Yeah, she's one of the best soccer players ever. But she's an outspoken lesbian, and that's why Nike wants her. What?
It's a way of minimizing her talent. I mean, he treated the fact that she's such a talented soccer star as an afterthought. Boot. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but that sounds impressive.
She's the top scorer in the most difficult competition in women's soccer history. Like the Women's World Cup is the pinnacle of women's soccer, and she was the highest scorer and scored the most goals. So you're the best goal scorer in the toughest competition to exist for your sport.
Right.
You're not a very, very good player. You're probably one of the 5 or 6 best players in the world at the thing that you do. The other thing is, oh, well, they can get married now. Everything's fair.
That's it, it's done.
And we saw that, you're exactly right. We see this with, Barack Obama was president. Racism is cured, right? But still-
Mitch McConnell essentially said that last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But still in 20 plus states, you can be fired from your job be kicked out of your apartment. A lease that you've signed, a binding document can be shredded up because they found out that you were gay. So this, even if this is let's say for S's and G's that this is the best time to live for a lesbian woman. That doesn't mean it's a good time to live for a lesbian woman. That's saying that forever before this, it was awful. So now it's slightly less awful, and you should just shut up and be happy that we're not still tying you at the stake and burning you like witches. That's ridiculous. And if you love this country, if you love people, you should want us to get to a point where we're not saying we've incrementally made your lives better, but that we are absolutely the same. Listen, no one would have the job that Ben Shapiro has if they look like me. Because I am way more entertaining. Look at me, look at me. It's this camera, right? It's me. I'm way more entertaining. My skin is flawless. He's a decade younger, and I promise you, I am way more gorgeous. And that's just reality, okay?
Can you give me a little comparison there? You see it.
I know you see it. That's just what it is. And so, the fact that I don't have the following or the platform that he has is just proof that racism is real, people.
Well, I do want to just make a quick note about an example you brought up, about Obama. And once you mentioned Obama, I actually thought about Michelle, because Michelle Obama is so incredibly intelligent, talented, kind,
she's magic in a human.
Yeah. So Michelle Obama is wonderful, and by the way, very accomplished, obviously. And the way that she was attacked by the right wing over everything, how she was called a gorilla, how they attacked her because she would wear sleeveless dresses and they thought that was inappropriate. I mean, she was attacked incessantly. And look, I don't have a problem with Melania's modeling career. I don't care. In fact, I think that it's wrong to attack her for posing nude because it's not important. But the way the right wing protects her and treats her as if she is the best first lady that has ever existed, when they treated Michelle Obama the way that they did, that should be just one piece of evidence that maybe things have gotten incrementally better for certain groups of people, but there's still a lot more progress that needs to be made.
Yeah, and just the fact show that this is actually not the best time to live in the world for lesbians. Maybe the best time, the max that we have hit was last year. But now with this administration, their rights have been more rights that have been stripped that they just barely got. We did stories about how the government in America was trying to strip citizenship from adopted babies of lesbian couples.
I really don't understand how you guys keep talking about this country the way that you do.
How dare us? Just
because you're factually correct does not mean you have license to say these truths on air. We're moonwalking back towards the 50s, and it's not fun at all.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.